Hello, how you doing? I've got to agree with Mary Morris. Look at that. I have no confidence in the government at all. In fact, none of them knows what they're doing. Got to agree with that. I've got to agree with Paul Grayston as well, who says it's the Muppet Show, John. It's not that good. 1 minute you can visit others, the next you can't have groups more than 6. What the hell is going on with this country? Stop the world. I want to get off. That's one of my favourite musicals. On about fines from 100 quid upwards if you get caught. Shall we just close the country? What about the immigrants who come over? What? What's that got to do with the debate? I don't understand that at all. You were making sense until then. Isolation or hello, here's a mask house. Oh, that's just nonsense. Why do you have to ruin a really good comment by then going on a load of bullshit racism, you fool? Right, okay, that's put me in a right good mood, hasn't it, right? I have a message from our supreme leader, Mr. Boris Johnson. Get ready, Charlie. Christmas is cancelled. He is the Grinch that stole Christmas. The man, there he is. How about that? I think that's quite good, that is. I think that's, Charlie, you're going to get another pot noodle. That is brilliant. The Grinch who stole Christmas. Thank you. You can take it down now. Let's concentrate on me. I am so talented. Right. I just want to say it's a terrible situation. Look, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I agreed with lockdown. I wanted the lockdown quicker, harder, more draconian. Boris, the clown, held back along with that woman, Deputy Medical Officer. I noticed she wasn't there today in the press conference. She basically has done a runner by the look of it. But she said everything would be okay with Cheltenham and you didn't necessarily have to wear masks. Has she been sacked? Has she buggery? In fact, I noticed today they were back, weren't they? The Chuckle brothers were back in town, standing with Boris. In fact, no, not those two, the other two. There we are. They actually got star billing today. They spoke before Boris spoke, and they showed us all their graphs. They tried to scare the you-not-what out of us. But as I say, I believed in lockdown. I don't anymore. I don't believe it in the way they're doing it. Boris Johnson, he was hopeful of everything being over by Christmas, but Chris Whitty, he doesn't amuse me, he's limiting expectations. He said, no way, Jose, or no way, Boris. Show me! People have tuned in to look at me, you fool. I'm home alone today, ladies, because my beautiful wife has gone. I can't tell you where she's gone, but she's gone somewhere with my daughter. So Gaunt is home alone. Control yourselves, ladies. But anyway, joking aside, can we please get to the point? I did believe in the lockdown. He was too late. He's been too quick to come out of it. He's told us all to go out and spend like a lottery winner on speed. He's told us to eat out, to help out. We've done that. What's happened? The cases have gone up. I accept some of this is about the fact we're doing more testing. But did you see Herr Flick today on Breakfast TV? Did you see that buffoon? There he is, Herr Flick. Absolute nonsense he came out with. He blamed us. He said too many of us are asking for a test. And you should only ask for a test if you've got the symptoms. Well, I don't want to be rude, Matt Hancock, but that might be a little bit too late. There are people travelling 150 miles to get something stuck up their nose. I know some people have done that before, but it wasn't a test. This is just stupid. You lot, you couldn't organise that in a brewery. It's gone beyond jokes now. And then today, they all started blaming the kids. Well, the kids were told to go out and drink for Britain, not dig for victory, drink for victory. So, yeah, they've gone to pubs. But now we're blaming the kids for all of this. Look, Boris, if you weren't sure, you shouldn't have released the lockdown. And then he's saying all this today about don't meet more than 6 people in your house, but you can go to a pub where there's hundreds of people. He's still sending kids back to university. Surely what he should have said today is that there's no need to go back to your university town because everything is going to be taught on Zoom until Christmas. That would be the way to grab this, Boris. Likewise, why are children back at school? I know they don't get it in the same way, but if it's as bad as Whitty and Valance, the Chuckle brothers, said today, then we shouldn't be having them at school. And what about the teachers and what they're being exposed to? There's no joined up thinking. Record audience figures. Thank you very much indeed. If you're listening on Facebook, please press the like button and the share button. If you're on YouTube, get it going as well. And on Facebook, start a watch party. I tell you what, there's never been a more important time to have Jon Gaunt TV and the Jon Gaunt Show every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. You cannot trust the MSM. You cannot trust the government as far as I'm concerned. Look, they made us all wear masks, but not when we really needed them, only now. This is an attack today on our civil liberties. And it gets worse. I'm coming to your comments in a moment. Keep them coming in. I've got to say this to you as well. Have you heard about this? He's having COVID marshals. Were they called the brown shirts or the black shirts during the Nazi era? These people are going to be listening at your door and through the wall to find out if you've got more than 6 people. And then he's having a nation of grasses who are going to grass you up. You couldn't make this nonsense up, could you? They're all going to be like the air raid warden in Dad's army. What was his name? You know the one I'm talking about. This is nonsense. It's another knee-jerk reaction by the idiots who are in control. But now they're infringing on our civil liberties. I think it's disgraceful. I really do. I don't think that it's a made-up virus. I think it is a real threat. But if it's a real threat now, it was a real threat in February, on March the 12th, when he allowed Cheltenham to go ahead. This man is a clown, an absolute clown. Do you agree with me? Get talking on the comments. Joan Bartlett, notice time for ER to cause mayhem over the weekend. Well, yeah, but there won't be any extinction or rebellion grasses, will there? No, it's just ordinary people like me and you, Joan. Nigel Farage has put out a tweet saying the Extinction Rebellion lot, the BLM, the ravers, they're not going to pay any attention to what Boris has said. So why should we? I think they're going to have real problems with enforcing this. I don't think coppers will be wanting to come over your threshold and arrest you for daring to have 7 people rather than 6 for a takeaway curry. I can't see it. I'm just waiting for Charlie, keep an eye on this, would you? I'm waiting for the statement from the Police Federation where they simply say, we cannot police this, because they won't be able to police it. It's a complete and utter joke. Do you agree with me or not? Let's get your comments. If you're watching on YouTube, we want to hear from you as well. On Twitter, via Periscope, let's hear from you as well. And also on my 2 Facebook groups. Phenomenal reaction tonight. Lawrence Rolfe says, not anymore on this virus. They're being dictated to by false figures. I think the argument's moved on rather from there. Mary Morris, unfortunately, they're totally aware of what they're doing and completely complicit in their proposed genocide. Arthur Jones, please don't use words like genocide in such a pathetic way. A genocide is a genocide. The Jews in Hitler's Germany, Rwanda. You shouldn't just throw around a word like genocide. It's not a genocide. Grow up, or go and listen to Ian Lee or Mike Graham or one of those establishment puppets. Wayne Lampert, it's all a load of crap. Fake flu, and people still believe It's shocking. Wayne, you're another one. It exists, you idiot, but they're exploiting it for control. There's a difference. Tony Latimer is another one. Fake pandemic, ramping up fear of a second wave to keep pushing the poison vaccine. Well, hardly. They haven't developed the vaccine yet. In fact, the only person who's developed one that appears to be working is Mr. Putin. Good evening, Mr. P. Joan Burnett, someone's making money out of this. It's all a rich man's trick. Well, I certainly think there will be a lot of people making money out of it, but I don't necessarily buy into the conspiracy. Oh, by the way, good evening, everybody. It's the Jon Gaunt TV Show. If you're listening on the audio version a day late, that's fine as well, because don't forget, we put these out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, full video. You can see me in all my glory, but then we turn them into a podcast. We take the pictures off and we put them on. I've got to say, the downloads for the podcast, tremendous. So even if you're enjoying this tonight, subscribe to the podcast. They're free, and then you'll get them as well. It's like a little reminder. You can play them in the car and remember what the arguments were all about. It's also important to subscribe to my YouTube channel. We've now got, I think, 1,100 and something. Brilliant from a standing start. Thank you very much indeed. Please subscribe. I think we can get that up to 2,000 by the end of next week. And if you're watching tonight, get in touch with all your mates. Get them to watch as well. 47 likes on my Facebook. We could do, that's just this Facebook that I'm watching. We could do with a few more. It's looking like a lie more and more every day. George Michael Clark. Could you elaborate on that, George? I'll be interested to know more of what you're trying to say. Oh, I've done the same thing I do every day. See, no one's yet bought me my mouse. David Mayton, another lockdown was always going to happen. Are you awake, Charlie? Put some comments up on the screen, please. The global reset is happening and are all part of one of the greatest psychological operations in human history. Wake up and see what's really going on. Dave, look, I'm not into the mad conspiracies. Can we try and keep it on planet Earth rather than planet Zanussi? Parmajit Singh, before it was people with underlying health conditions and elderly, now it's the younger people. They are deluded. I think he's talking about the government. If they think they're doing their best, as it's getting obvious they're not, and you can forget Christmas as a full lockdown is on the way come October. I've got to agree with you, Parmajit. In fact, I would say we're having a full lockdown already. The BBC stressed, oh, it's not a full lockdown, but then they're Lord Haw-Haws, W-H-O-R-E, of the government, aren't they? They're part of the propaganda machine. What happened to the one you just put up? Phil Bayliss, a loophole to get 12 in your house. 6 mates could hire 6 prostitutes as their working girls, and work isn't affected by the new 6 rule. Thank you, Phil. Hadn't you better get back to the village? They're missing you. Crypto Chris, evening, John. You were late tonight. I'm only joking. They know what they're doing. It's being done on purpose. Yeah, but what does that mean, Chris? It's just a bland statement. Elaborate. Julie May, it's really intelligent response. It's all a load of crap. Well, I kind of need a little bit more than that. You're not on talk radio now. A little bit more if you can. Phil Tomlinson. It seems to me the country is being run by Dominic Cummings and Chris Whitty. Fair enough. I understand where you're coming from. Just what's apt you police fed response? Oh, here it is. Yeah. Is that Charlie? You're on the ball, man. The National Chair of the Police Federation of England and Wales, very good friend of mine. I taught him all about social media. He's responded to the government. What are you putting your hands up for? He's responded to the government that social gatherings of more than 6 people will be banned in England from Monday. John Apter, that's his name, he said, with the increase in confirmed COVID cases, it's no surprise the government has made this announcement. For policing, these constant changes to legislation are becoming the norm. The pressures on policing have increased significantly over recent months, and this latest charge will just add to that. See, I told you they would be moaning already. And who can blame them? Mind you, it'd be good if the police could put out a photo fit of a suspect they're looking for quicker than 24 hours. if you know what I mean. We can't talk about Birmingham. As you know, a man has been arrested. He was in court today, but the police response, pathetic. You're meant to find somebody who they've not told you what they look like. Phil Tomlinson. Oh, I've done that one. Dave Temple, get ready, Charlie. Ready? Hands, face, space. Yeah, they're pushing that again today. Hands, face, space, get a test. I tell you what, I've got to be careful with my voice. Don't shirk, get back to work. I tell you something. I don't know if I'm going down with it, Charlie. Me and you are going on our road trip tomorrow, aren't we? And my throat is a bit tight. What? Like your wallet? Yeah, thank you, Charlie. That's very kind of you. Leon Parish. Immigrants, hotels, Muslims, mosques. This is why Xmas is cancelled. If you had a brain cell, Leon, you'd be dangerous. But as it is, you're just an idiot racist. Shut the F up and get off my program. I don't want your filth. Your absolute filth. I don't want it. Boris is not the leader. He's just the current puppet. I won't even tell you who said that, but you need to get a brain. Ned Royston. Evening, John. Boris the buffoon needs to go, and Nigel Farage should take over. Do you agree? Yes, I do. No soy allowed. Hi, John. Hi, Charlie. Wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. Go to work. Don't go to work. Well, Julie, that's a good point. Apart from they're still telling you to go to work. This virus is so clever. They actually said this today in a press conference. Oh, yeah, you're safe at work and on public transport, but not if you go to a pub and not if you have your extended family around. It's just rubbish. It's so obvious that what they've done, they've knackered the economy. They now want you to be a lab rat and come out of the nuclear bunker, go back to work. Meanwhile, Parliament, most of the MPs aren't there. The civil servants aren't there. The leaders of industry aren't there. But you mugs, they want you back. And why on earth are they sending students back? I was talking to my Bethany. She's doing a PhD now. She's been told the first 4 weeks is all on Zoom. She's paying £10,000 a year in fees to do a PhD. How ludicrous is this? Somebody needs to get a grip. There's no point in WhatsApping me, Charlie. It's part of my new lifestyle. I don't bring the phone. Are you listening? Charlie, are you listening? Look at me when I'm speaking to you. Put your tongue away. And I no longer bring the phone in here, like I don't take the phone to bed anymore. It's part of my new Karma John. You notice how I don't get annoyed with anybody anymore? Well, apart from you. Yeah? I see the football's not going to happen. That'll teach them for taking a knee in Iceland last week, wouldn't it? Or this week? I think it's the whole thing is mad. The whole world is too late. Ask China, says Maggie Young. Well, I think China have got some real questions to answer. Only one person in Northampton General with it, apparently, says Dave Byrne. Yeah, well, you know what apparently did? I think you're right. I mean, they're not saying the deaths are going up, or they have gone up a bit. What they're saying is the amount of people with it. And what the argument is, the more people who get infected, the more chance that your granny is going to die. Did you see Hair Flick when he said that? When he told young people it's all their fault, and if they carry on boozing, which he told them to do last week, then you could kill your granny. Let's have another look at Hair Flick. Let's have another look at him, Charlie. Huh? Oh, there he is. Huh? What an absolute arse. Anthony Whitworth, amazing. Not only getting... Oh, I'm not going to talk about this. Listen, I'm not talking about immigrants, illegal immigrants in hotels tonight. I'm not doing... We've done it to death. Yeah, we're not doing it tonight. I have written a column about it. You can read it there. But please, let's try and keep on the subject tonight. Because believe it or not, it's not the illegal immigrants or any immigrants that have caused COVID, right? And they're not the ones running the country. The ones running the country are the Conservative government, who will make a complete hash of it. Can we try and keep on my agenda? Friday, we do Friday free-for-all, but not tonight. 180 people watching on this stream alone. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can we see if we can get it over 200? If I get figures that high, I might get a nosebleed with the vertigo. Yeah. And then we might see that other guy in the other lift on the way down, because his figures are just going one way, going down. Oh, I must ask, has anyone got a cover shift I could do? I could do with a job in, where's someone? Mac Fisheries. Has Mac Fisheries got a job on the fish counter? I'm not making enough money to survive since I left mainstream broadcast. Anybody got any cover shifts? Huh? Brentford Nylons? Oh, okay, then. Something nearly as old-fashioned, radio. Dave Temple, Bojo the Clown told the Seven Dwarfs today that as from Monday, they must become 6. Only one of them isn't happy. Oh. Oldest joke in the book, but it's not too bad. The bemused one says, I thought we were going to have a world-class testing. Now, this is a good point. I thought we were going to have a world-class testing regime in July. The absolute joke of offering half-price meals at pubs and then wondering why under 30s are catching COVID. That is a very good point. Charlie, are you going to put anybody up on the screen today? Are you going to go slow? He's been drumming all day. You know, he practices his drumming. Yeah, he's been drumming with the Coventry Military Corps of Drums. Huh? We're going to have a rally, aren't we? Hey, Charlie, you're going to play the drums. I'm building this big stadium so I can talk to people. I've already got the shirt. And we're going to use Boris's black shirts to intimidate people. It's happening. It's happening. Hair flick, laugh out loud, says David Hall. Thank you, David. So the government blatantly encourages us to eat out to help out. Charlie, that's your cue. As well as other stuff too during the summer. Then they have the effing, please don't swear, the effing nerve to blame us. I personally think these computer modeling scenarios are iffy. They have been since the very beginning. Nick, I agree with that. But you didn't need to swear. Did it make you feel big? Did you get a tingle in your underpants because you used the F word? Don't use it on my show. Otherwise, I'll ban you, right? Because I'm reading these. Can you imagine how difficult this is? I'm just reading them as they come in or where I see them. So I'm just reading on site. You just try and do that with something which is pretty anodyne, right? Like a script for Iron Mike, right? Try and do that. And then see how hard it is when somebody puts in some swear words. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't need you. Kerry Swan, here she is. Absolutely nonsensical what Boris said today. People on trains and buses even, are squashed in like sardines. Kids back at school with no social distancing. Parents gathering in playgrounds. And yet we can't meet more than 6 people. It's laughable. Kerry, I agree with you entirely. We never got over 200. Come on, I want that nosebleed. Carl Eves. I'm starting to think it is one big spam-demic. This 6 people comes on force, but mosques are exempt. Well, I see, Carl, you're doing the same thing. Let's bash a Muslim. Churches are exempt. Synagogues are exempt. Why did you want to pick on a mosque? Look at yourself in the mirror and ask a very important question. Am I an Islamophobe? Am I a racist? You're better than that, Carl. It's not just mosques that are open. I wouldn't allow the mosque to open, but I wouldn't let the church. That pompous prat, the Archbishop of Canterbury, he had a tweet up saying, oh, I've checked with the government. Churches can still open, yeah, because they're places of worship. They're still places, just like mosques and synagogues, that can spread the virus. Carl, don't be a racist. As Jerry Dammers sang, if you have a racist friend, now is the time for that friendship to end. And I mean it, Carl. I don't want you following me if you're going to come out with crap like that. When it's a Muslim doing something wrong, fair play. But to just apologize, that's what you should do, because that is rubbish, what you've just written. Rubbish. Because churches, synagogues, they're all opening. Even the bloody Jehovah's Witnesses. MMS. What's the MMS? I think you mean the MSM is fake news. Correct. Gaunt, the government are pitching at a level that the majority of the population can grasp because people are not following the advice. The increase in positive cases is purely down to complacency, not Boris and the government. Lee Cusack. Lee, have you just seen that pig flying over the top of the castle? You're talking nonsense. They're the ones who introduced, ready, Charlie, eat out to help out. They wanted you back in pubs Too late again. What is wrong with you, Charlie? Have you been on drugs all afternoon? Have you got a problem? Why can't you put up a picture when I ask you to? Huh? You'll be hitchhiking back from Manchester. Huh? What's that? You're drunk. Yourself. Good stuff. But so, Lee, it is down to the government. The government are in charge. They've sent our children back to school. They've been trying to force you to go back to the office. And now they say, but don't meet more than 6 people. Oh, but it's okay if it's in a factory. It's rubbish. David Lacey, let's all get back to work and going out and get back to school. Now blaming me for doing it. Precisely. How are the MMS? What's the MMS? It's MSM, you prat. Allowed to get away with all this BS they report. Don't use the other word. James up in Sunderland says, my daughter had her first day at school this week. Loads of kids her age were wearing masks. Thought that was such a sad sight to see. It is. It is, actually. I saw my nephews outside their school, and a few of them kids had the masks on. Are we going to bring our kids? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm wearing a mask. I'm washing my hands. Yeah. I'm not. I've got back to work and I'm not shirking or whatever our latest thing was. But I'm just saying the government, it feels now like they're conning us. That's how it feels to me. And it breaks my heart to say that. Come on, we're teetering around the 200. We've got 75 likes. Get your bloody grip. Go and turn on every computer in the house. How are the MMS? What's the MMS? Can you just whip the lot of them, Charlie? Just give them one big whip, because tonight I think I've got Ian Lee's. One of them would have passed their 11 plus. Good evening, Mr. Gaunt. I finally did the eat out to help out. Eat out to help out at my local curry house. Great value. Just a £5 for a delicious chicken tikka masala. Taka masala. A bit like chicken tikka masala. It's just a little otter. Otter. I thank you. We'll call you. We'll call you, Steve Drew. You've done better jokes than that. That was crap. Evening, John. You're so right. Well, unfortunately, you're not Danny Bates. There's no H in my name. Don't make that mistake again. I didn't want to lose my temper with you tonight, but you've pushed me into it. Charlie, they've pushed me into it. Have you worked out the route for tomorrow, Charlie? Huh? Do we know which way we're going? Huh? Huh? I might take you for breakfast if you behave. Well, I'll be having breakfast. You'll be sitting outside with a packet of Smith's Crisps, stale, damp, and a bottle of cheap Coke. Cheap Coke? No, cheap Coke. How about that, Charlie? Huh? Huh? What did he just put up there? Was it Madge? He's always doing it when I can't see it. It's out of order. Got asked if I'd like to move to Spain today. What do you reckon, Charlie? Got offered to go and live in Spain. And I said, what would I do? They said, you could just do what you're doing, but you could have a much more relaxed style of life. But Spain's in a lockdown as well, isn't it? I don't know. Would you give up? I am thinking of giving up on this country, which I never thought I'd think like that, but it's awful. I'm totally and utterly sick of this shambles of a government that seem to have absolutely not a clue what to do next. So you can't catch COVID in school or at the office, but you can down the booze or in a restaurant or after 10 o'clock. If that curfew comes in, what a load of number one. Oh, no, what a load of, oh, yeah, I won't swear. Sometimes it's like reading out the lyrics of David Bowie. You know, when he was the Thin White Duke, do you remember that documentary, Charlie? He was in New York and he was really strung out on smack, yeah? And he was trying to explain to Alan Yedtop how he wrote songs. And basically he said he just used to write down sentences, then cut up the paper into the individual words, put all the words in a bag, and then put the words back together. It was something like that. Well, reading some of these texts from these people, it's the same. I might have to start doing phoning, Charlie, just so I can understand them. Either that or getting a Ouija board, holding hands and hoping we can contact the living. Oh, sorry, he's got a bit serious now. My mum has leukemia. Sorry. My mum has leukemia and is on chemo, and she's had enough of all this. And Christmas will not be cancelled at my mum and dad's this year. I promise you that. Hope you're well, John. By the way, mate. Thank you, Daniel. I'm sorry for taking the mickey. I didn't realise where you're going on. We called them the Gestapo, the KGB. Stop blaming Boris. He's listening to the scientists, Maggie Young. Maggie, you're listening to the propaganda. Sharon Bosworth, government really bizarre, totally confusing. Children only just gone back. What a waste of time. Something is just not right, John, with this COVID-19 and the way it's been. You've taken it off, Charlie. I'm reading it. Put it back. Are you just trying to join them? Yeah? Are you another 11 plus failure like me? Yeah? Is that what it is? Huh? Are you sharing the brain cell today, you and the audience? Maybe the government are trying to take our rights away. Not a conspiracy freak either. It's just weird. Sharon, that's really where I am. Thank you. I finished with it now. Steve Gibb, the MSM are complicit. At least he knows they're called the MSM. Nothing more than government mouthpieces. They have long since given up on investigative journalism. They're bought shills, all of them. Yeah, I don't know how anybody could work for a state broadcaster. Do you, Steve? Absolutely outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Maggie Young, I'm coming back to you. Stop blaming Boris. He's listening to the scientists. He's the leader. Yes, he should listen to them, but he has to make a decision. Nick Cox, I'm not reading out your nonsense. Richard Davis, here's another one. It's no one's fault but the general public. Have you not seen that? And it stops. Is that because you realise you were writing absolute BS? I agree, John. These young kids got no respect for anyone or anything nowadays. When have I slagged off young kids? Idiot. Gary Fair, I'm almost going to stop in a minute. Right. Charlie, come in, number twos. You can take over if you want, because I've had enough of this. I honestly can't believe what's happening here. What on earth has happened to the Conservative Party? I think they all joined UKIP many years ago. Sam Hill just says, hello. Say hello. Wave goodbye. Blocker. I'm joking. Shane Hircock. That's got to be a made-up name. Love you, Gaunty. No? I went to school with a girl who was called Melanie Alcock. Right? She's a lovely girl. I mean, she'd be all right nowadays, wouldn't she? John, if it's as bad as they say it is, why on earth would they base their policy decisions on cases and not deaths? That's a good point, which have been flat since the end of June. They've changed the agenda to cases, John. Now it's not about deaths. Yeah, well, their argument, to be fair to them, they say if there's all these cases that could lead to a pandemic, and Herr Flick says it could lead to you killing your granny, right? I thought that was a despicable thing he said. Hi, John, you make me die. Everything you say, I think. Hancock's half hour said his bit, but he's wrong. Bull. Shh. Yes, Boris was too slow in shutting down. I guess this was going to come again. I hope I'm going to be wrong, but it's definitely on the cards now. And Boris annoys me when I see him on the telly. And I thought he was going to be a good leader. Sadly, I was wrong. No ball. I'm angry with him. I think everybody's angry with him. I think. Oh, sorry. Apart from Lee Cusack. I completely disagree with you, Gaunty. The responsibility to control this virus is in the public's hands. But a large proportion are not abiding by the advice. Lee, get your head out of Boris's arse, right? And think about what you've just written. The majority of people, even Boris says, are abiding by the rules. Nick Cox, he's really being a moron. He says, I won't be having the vaccine. Meanwhile, Dan Coffey says, you, sir, speak sense. Correct. That's the best comment we've had. Put that on the screen. Oh, dear. Peter Hitchens said the mainstream press have been disgraceful throughout this whole sham, and I have to agree. They've stoked up a massive fear in a lot of the population. It's so sad to see. Well, hold on a minute. It's easy to blame the media, but they're being fed by Boris. Yeah, I mean, I don't like that Kay Burley. Yeah, I think she's right out of order about Tony Abbott. And who's that other one who looks like Aunt Sally out of Wurzel Gummidge? The one on Sky News with the red lipstick. What's her name? Do you know the one I'm talking about? She's been on holiday recently, but she was back today. I've got no time for these people. I've got no time for them. They are just mouthpieces. What's the name? You know the one? She looks like Aunt Sally. Oh, it'll come back. Love you, Gaunty, says Shane Hercock. I know I've read it out already, but I thought it'd be good. Nick says, Gaunty, give Charlie a smacked bum. Matt Crawley says, I have an interview for a new job on Friday. They want me to have a COVID test before I can go into the building. Now, that is stupid. John, you won't be able to automatically move to Spain and live there when we fully left the EU. I will, Melissa, because I've got a passport. I've got dual nationality. I've got one for Spain and I got one for Ireland. I did it in advance. Oh, and I got one for Italy. Yeah. I'm quad nationality. I can go live wherever I want, Melissa. So there you go. You don't know everything. I'm just so blooming confused, John, about who or what to believe, says Steve McNeese. I think I'm the same. Steve Crump also says, I quite enjoyed lockdown. Well, they did say it has promoted mental health problems. Don't believe that the confusing nature of government guidelines is incompetence. They're doing exactly what they're told to by the same dark actors every other government are puppets for. David Bowie did smack, says Cornerstone City 777. I don't believe it. Mick the Brit, thank you. You've saved me, Mick. He says it's Beth Rigby, who looks like Aunt Sally. Charlie's laughing now. Charlie, she does look like Aunt Sally. Well, that's all right. Boris looks like Wurzel Gummidge. Right, where are we up to? Oh, can I just say, if you're interested in losing a bit of weight, you might want to look at simpleasfat.com. Simpleasfat.com. Low carb, high good fat. I think you'll find it very, very interesting. Also, whilst we're in the subject of you perhaps paying for something, how about you making a donation? Why don't you now go to jongaunt.com and donate anything from £10 upwards to help with these. Oh, look, there's the name. To help with these podcasts. Donate 10 quid. You get your name then on the roll of honour. Thank you. Oh, I wondered where you'd gone. He's here. Dean Pete Hotch. John, it's Wednesday, John. But he's put a W and an anchor. What does that mean? Huh? Is he trying to be rude, Charlie? Huh? Shall we put him in the sin bin, Charlie? Dean Hotch in the sin bin. British people were moving to Spain and living there before we joined the EU. So how did that work, Melissa? He's having a go at Melissa, who said, I can't move there. She didn't realise I had dual nationality. I'm going to get out of this shithole as soon as I can. Yeah? All this stuff I go on about being patriot, I don't believe any of it. You do realise that, don't you? That'll be all over the internet later. Charlie! Evening, John, a black cab driver from a quiet Heathrow airport. My friend, my heart bleeds for you at the moment. What's going on in your trade? They've closed down all the roads. They've allowed millions of Ubers on the road. And Sadiq Khan thought it was a good idea to extend the congestion charge and build more, what do you call them, bus lanes. Absolute nutcase. Shane says, keto rocks. Richard, oh God, got another one of these idiots. Richard Tunstall. Does John read the comments from here? I think I've just answered the question, Charlie. He's on YouTube. Yeah, but the ones on Facebook come up quicker. That's why they come out quicker. So I do apologise for not reading you. Oh, I've got a broadcasting tip here from Dean Hotch. Pete. John, it's not flowing tonight. Oh, I won't be able to sleep, Pete, if you haven't enjoyed it, Dean. I won't be able to sleep. How dare Hancock take a snipe at the young with don't kill your granny. Cornerstone makes the point as well. Shop workers aren't wearing the masks. You're right. Hi, John. This is my mate, Paul, in Tenerife. Hi, John. You tried to speak to me today. Couldn't reply. I was flying from Madrid back to Tenerife. Very comfortable with the restrictions in place at the airports and the hotels, restaurants, and on the street. UK is very fluffy. Early doors, and now they're paying for it. Stay safe. Thank you, Paul. You're right. We should have locked down like Spain did. I'm Absolutely with you. I'll give you a call tomorrow on the way up north, because at least that'll give me an excuse not to have to talk to Charlie and listen to his monosyllabic nonsense as we drive up there. Oh, God. Why does he treat him like that? Why is he? If I was Charlie, I'd have smacked him by now. It's disgusting the way he treats him, and he only feeds him on the occasional pot noodle. Charlie, why don't you walk out, join that little poxy forum with Ian, and give the inside story on Gaunty? Yeah, the fact that I'm sitting here at the moment wearing my wife's knickers. Yeah, that's what you need to do, Charlie. He says, "Oh, private chat. Hold on, private chat. I'll be playing free jazz all the way up tomorrow." What do you mean? It's free, or it's like where they get a bit pretentious and you can make any sound you wanted and you call it jazz? Yeah, I know. Hi, John. No H. My kids have gone back to school. Good lad. I've gone back to school, and after saying to the infants and the junior heads, and said people are standing next to each other while queuing up to go to school to pick their kids up. Have you heard about grammar? Do you know what a comma is? Put a few commas in there, huh? But then you get a text from the council telling people they need to stay 2 meters apart. But if they did that, they'd be in the next village or on the motorway. Great show as always, John. James Howson. Correct. You are right. Boris did not invent the virus. Then in capitals, Chinese, says Maggie. Beth Rigby, you're right. Dean, you're thick. I'm not even going to read out your thing. They've been listening to the wrong experts. You're right. Glenn Wildy says Rigby. Yeah, I've already got the answer. Her on Sky is Beth Rigsby. No, I can't. That's nasty. You don't say that about her. That isn't fair. He says she's something in lipstick. I don't like that. That's a bit rude. Tony French, but thank you very much indeed. That was on YouTube. Richard Tunstall on YouTube. Does John read comments from here? Ooh. The government seems to just want a future where people will only leave to the house for work or education. Christopher, that's not a bad point. That is not a bad point. This is good. There's an argument now. Dean Pete Hodge, right? The moron. He said, Richard, no, Gaunty doesn't read out the comments from YouTube. How come you got classified as a moron then last week if I wasn't reading out your comments? Cornerstone City says, yes, he does. Where's the next one? Oh, David Earl. I think you're brilliant, John. No question. On YouTube. Is that David Earl who used to work with me? Huh? You left me. I was never the same after you went. You are so talented. I'm glad to see your tennis career is doing so well, and I'm not taking the mickey. It's good to see, Dave, and you're doing a lot of good work with young people. John Woolsby, evening, John and all. Evening, John and all. I tell you what, if this pandemic carries on, people are going to get, our educational standards are going to go really down, aren't they? Because all these people have been educated. Oi, Charlie. I like that, Ned in Royston. I think Gaunty, the tight shot sod, should put his hand in his pockets and buy you a full English for tomorrow's road trip. Yeah, I might treat him. I normally let him just eat what I leave on the plate. So that's why he's so fat, because he eats all the beans and the hash browns, the things that I won't eat. Isn't it, Charlie? Huh? Leon Parrish, we need your Talk to Me radio callers back and bring them on to the Jon Gaunt show. Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe I do. Loads of people are saying, will you take phone calls? The problem is, as I've proved tonight by reading out some of your comments, I don't think you're intelligent enough. I don't want to insult you too much, but if you phone up, wouldn't you just say, it's the Muslims? Right, which I'm a bit bored of that, really. Azzy. Oh, here we go. What do you think of this question? Let's put this one up on the screen. Here, Charlie. Who do you think are some of the best speech radio presenters out there? That's a fair question. Are we talking about the UK? There aren't any. There aren't any. They're all rubbish and scared of their own shadow. Yeah, and they've all got the backbone of a blancmange. That's what I think. Although, has anybody got any standing shifts going? I'm desperate. Absolute Radio, have you got anything? Please, me. Walsgrave Community Radio, me. It's funny because certain people took the mickey out of me when I pioneered this form of radio on an app with Talk to Me Radio. And then I obviously moved on to doing what I'm doing now. And now I've got people copying me poorly and not making any money out of it and then getting upset and crying. You made your bed, lie in it, mate. I thought Twatch was spending you loads of money. Must tell your listeners, if they haven't heard, Spanish National News reported yesterday a passenger from the UK to Tenerife took 4 hours to eat a giant bag of crisps so that he didn't have to wear a mask. Very funny. JVS on 3 Counties Radio is good, says Richard Tunstall. Jonathan Vernon Smith's a nice lad. And that's all I'm going to say. He is a nice lad. I like him a lot. And my mate Ernie taught him everything he knew, including all the single entendres. See, but all the best people on the radio. Okay, I'll make an exception for John. I like him. He's a nice fella. But who's good on the radio? Who is good on the radio? Who do you think? I can't miss listening to them. No one. You don't think that about... No, I just don't think you do you? Oh, I'll tell you who is good. That guy who does the 10 o'clock show on Talk Radio, Christoph. Oh, he's much better than that bloke who used to do it. I think he's really good. Does anyone trust anything that comes out of Boris Johnson and the Conservative mouths? No. John, you are the talent. Well said, Dean. You are. Dave Hill says, I think you're brilliant. Oh, I had enough of this. Right. Have we finished now? Zoidberg, nice glasses, 4 eyes. Now, these are great glasses. If you haven't, you're trying to have a go at me. These are £1.39 from Super Saver. Look at them. They're only for reading. I used to spend a fortune on reading glasses. What's the point? Simple. Oh, this is good. Callum Ronan. Dean Hodge. He's come on there. He's trying to get back. Dean, look, let's. Okay. To be fair, John, there's no H in my name. You are a trailblazer. UK radio could do with you. Of course they could, but they're never going to give me a job, so don't worry about it. Hey, John, I keep getting an IDIOT code when watching your stream. Should I be worried? And he's trying to insult me. Callum, but you're watching. It's like the people who used to ring up and say, I hate that, Jon Gaunt. Yeah, they don't realise they're building your popularity. They're paying for your style of life. Loving you, mate. Loving it. Enjoying the show. I know who the worst presenter is. It's LBC's... What is it? LBC's Marxist James O'Brien. I disagree with that. I think he's quite a good presenter. He doesn't attract any callers, but he's not a bad presenter for a lefty socialist shitbag. He ain't bad. I don't think he's bad. Love the show, John, and the Mickey taking, even at the expense of my grammar. Thank you, Daniel. Enjoying the show, says Anthony Mack. So you should be. I'm putting a lot of work in. Mandy, you joker, John. What was that about? Has anyone watched UK column news on YouTube? No. Very intelligent and well-researched counter-narrative to the government propaganda. I have watched it, actually. I don't think you could call it well researched. He doesn't even know how trolled he's getting there, says Alan T. Prescott. Alan, do you know what, mate? This is what I'll tell you. If I didn't like a show, I wouldn't stay in all night to watch it. Like you're staying in now to watch it, criticise it. Then afterwards, you'll give a whole critique of it. And then you'll carry on talking. Now, you'll be speculating now on the fact my wife and my daughter have gone away, right? You'll be making up all kinds of fantasies, right? It's called projection. That's what it is. So you talk about, oh, yeah, my wife's having an affair. My wife's doing this. My wife's doing that. Because that's probably what's happening in your miserable life. Well, actually, it won't be happening in your miserable life because you've only just got off the tit of your mother. Yeah? Grow up, you silly little boy. Don't like it? Don't watch. Don't like it? Don't contribute. Do you think I care about your insults? No, I don't care at all. In fact, it makes me realise how popular I am. Leon Paris says Belfield is good. Alex Belfield, I used to listen to him a long time ago. Roman Kemp is very good. I thought you asked me for talk radio presenters. I give up, I really do. Where should we go next? Done him. I wonder what the rest of the UK think of the Scottish First Minister's performance. Wee Jimmy Cranky! She's doing a brilliant job. I think she's so clever. Did they kick you out of the House of Commons, John? You've got your own castle now. I always had my own castle. Do you want to see it again? How do I do that? I can't even remember how I do it. Oh, I think I go here. Hold on a minute. Where do you want me to be? How about what? Houses of Commons? There we are. How about that? As if by magic. Oh, Simon Deacon, have you ever fallen down a well? No, and nor has that other idiot either. It was all bullshit, but that's basically what his whole career is based on. So well done. Right, I'm off. I'll be back on Friday. Until then, if you've got kids, don't forget to give them a kiss, a hug, and tell them that you love them. Thanks for watching. See ya.